get a piece of them. It seems like something like this happened here. We don't know everything for sure, but
Correct.
Let's assume these fans came up to Darrelle Revis. He didn't like that they were recording. What's an athlete to do in that kind of situation?
I mean, ultimately, in this day and age, I think you have to walk away from the situation, or at least try to walk away. And that's what is so perplexing to me, because this is completely out of character of the Darrelle Revis I know. And I've been around him in several social settings, both up close and from a distance. And I have seen him react with people, and I have never seen him be anything less than a gentleman in all these situations. So this, to me, reeks of, you know, that you talked about the he said, but this reeks to me of something is not right here. The other thing, I really find it hard to believe that Darrelle Revis is going to knock two guys out and they're going to be unconscious for 10 minutes up until the police show up. That's just not, those are things to me that are movies, that happen in movies that don't happen in real life.
Really doesn't add up for you.
That does not add up for me. So it's completely out of character of the man I know that is Darrelle Revis. Now, you deal with it all the time. You see people in a restaurant trying to take a picture of you or trying to take a video of you. You know, oftentimes, and I've seen that happen, it's happened to me, where I'll say, hey, man, if you want to take a picture, let's take a picture together. You don't have to do it in secret. Let's just do that. But I think as an athlete, it's a cautionary tale, and I think one of the things you have to be able to take from this is the good ones learn from others' mistakes. You know, the great ones, or the good ones learn from their own mistakes. The great ones learn from others' mistakes. I think you have to look at the situation and say, you know what, I have to have a plan for if this happens to me, how I'm going to get out of that situation, how I'm going to walk away without violence occurring. And that's got to be something that you've got to think about before you go out.
A lot of people talk about the idea that when an athlete or somebody famous or you're walking out in public, that you're in the public eye in the first place, therefore you're opened up to the public, therefore it's on you to sort of always take a step back and cooperate. Again, we do not know what happened in this situation.
Yes.
But is that how you look at athletes? It's as if they have to cooperate every single time when somebody's asking for a picture, even recording them on a phone?
Yeah,
I know that would make me stop and say, hey, wait a second.
Right, but that's part of what you've gotten yourself into, and it's a different world than when I grew up in the National Football League. There were no camera phones.
Yeah.
So there's a different world going on right now, but you have to be aware of the world that you've agreed to be a part of. And the bottom line is this. If you want to go out and you want to have a good time and you want to do those things, you have to understand that that's the world you live in, and those are the rules that you're going to have to adhere to. And so if you want to avoid that, then don't put yourself in those situations. Don't be out in public. Or if you're out in public, make sure you have some type of security that will take care of that for you.
Wow, but the idea that you have to walk out with security, Darrelle Revis, anywhere he goes, even his hometown, has to walk around.
Which I think is ridiculous, because I think the majority of guys that are celebrity, that are football players, don't think of themselves that way. They think of themselves as the guy that was in college, that was regular, that was having fun. And you know, I think at times, you know, that's part of celebrity. You become a prisoner of your own celebrity, and the more you get, the more a prisoner you seem to be. So it's part of the deal that you're going to have to contend with when you've reached a certain status of celebrity in this society. And it's unfortunate, but it is the way it is.
Now, your son Daniel, he's a major leaguer. He's in camp right now. Have you ever talked to him about this kind of situation, about what to do when guys walk up to you, and what do you say?
Yeah, you know, we have these conversations all the time, and you know, he spent 4 years in the big leagues. He's trying to make his way back to the big leagues right now, but you know, I always try to treat people with grace. I always say, you know, we've got, as men, we've got this, we've been sold this bill of goods that's not right. And that bill of goods is what strength is, and true strength comes with grace and humility and love and kindness. And, you know, that's the way I'm wired. So I try to help my son be wired the same way. You've got to treat people with grace. You've got to treat people with humility and kindness, because it's, you know, you've been given a gift. And that gift is you've been blessed to be left-handed and to throw in the mid-90s. And you've got to understand that you did nothing to earn that. That was given to you. And so when you have a gift, I think you have to be gracious and you have to accept that. Hard to do at some point. You know, some guys get enamored with their own success, and that's a big issue. But again, I go back to this, to me, is completely out of character of the Darrelle Revis that I've been around. And I've been around several different occasions in several social settings. Yeah. And like I said, he's treated people with nothing but kindness.
How do you think, and again, very early stages right now, the NFL says they're looking into this. How do you think they're going to view all of this at this point? I know they're going to gather information, but is it one of these situations where you look at it and say, well, just because he was arrested, that's going to be a problem, even if it wasn't his fault?
No, you know what, I think for the most part, you give the guy the benefit of the doubt. You look at his past history as an indicator of who he is going forward. And you look at it as an unfortunate situation that he got himself into. And I think for the most part, NFL clubs, the Jets included, will give him the benefit of the doubt based on the character that he's displayed.